Minutes away from court resuming from lunch. I'm joined now by WESH 2 legal analyst Alicia Adamson. And Alicia, we're answering some of the viewer questions they've submitted on Facebook. And the first one is from Benioff. He wants to know, can the self-defense claim be successful if it is proven that by your own action you created a situation that caused you to inflict a fatal wound on another person?
Technically, yes. If George Zimmerman, in this situation, if George Zimmerman, and I think it's pretty clear, George Zimmerman got out of his vehicle when asked not to, or when he was told not to follow. But following someone is not illegal. Getting out of your car is not illegal. Asking someone, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Is not illegal. So even though George Zimmerman allegedly created the situation, if George Zimmerman did in fact fear that his life was in danger, that he was either going to die or inflict some type of great harm, and he shot Trayvon Martin in defense of himself, then yes, the self-defense claim can work.
And I think that's what has so many people a bit confused, because so many people are saying, but wait, had he never even approached him, this would have never happened. But he did. That doesn't make him guilty of second-degree murder.
Exactly. Approaching someone, following someone, profiling someone, it's not illegal.
So what is illegal is, had that confrontation happened and he willingly shot Trayvon out of ill will, out of spite?
Right. Well, with a second-degree murder, yes, you need that mindset. You need the depraved mind. But if the jury decides not to come back with a second-degree murder, they can come back with manslaughter if he was grossly negligent. If George Zimmerman was so negligent to where he used a firearm when he didn't have to, then they can find him guilty of manslaughter.
Okay, we have another question, and this one has to do with that last witness we heard from yesterday. So Judy is asking, just wondering why Celine Bahadur was not impeached after changing her story. So she's the one who the neighbor, at first she described where she saw George Zimmerman running to, then she changed her story, so it was a bit different yesterday. So what is impeachment in this case, and does it apply to her?
Impeachment is when you attack the credibility of a witness. So if they say one thing and their story completely changes and they're in essence lying about, the situation, then an attorney can impeach him. I think the situation is kind of similar to what's going on with Ms. Manalo today. Mm-hmm. You can't impeach someone on a question that they weren't asked. So this left-to-right question that defense was so upset about yesterday with Bahadur, I don't think she was ever asked that question specifically. So to try to impeach her on a situation that she never answered, I think was difficult. And I think that's the main problem that the defense had, was they were trying to impeach her on a situation that she never answered. And the way to avoid that situation is to prepare. Now, if the defense attorney, Mark O'Mara, had asked her these questions in depositions and she straight out gave an opposite answer, then he could have successfully impeached her. Well, I asked you this exact question before. You gave me this answer. Today, you're in court in front of these jurors and you're giving a complete opposite answer. That would have been impeachment. But I think because that question was never asked, and he was not able to successfully impeach her.
And quickly, does witness demeanor make a difference to jurors? We've seen Jane Serdyka, who's pretty confident about what she saw, what she heard. She didn't deviate at all. We're hearing from Jeannie Manalo. She's a little bit more timid, seems a little confused at times. Does that have an effect on the jury?
Absolutely. Body language matters. But I think with these lay witnesses, they didn't ask to be put in this position. They're not here for any type of gain. They happen to be home and witness this tragedy, and now are witnesses because of that reason. So I think their body language might not necessarily be as important, unless it gets pretty hostile. I know that both witnesses today, I think, were pretty good with the defense attorney. But Ms. Bahadur yesterday, I did notice when she was answering defense questions, she seemed a little irritated and agitated. But that's understandable because, like I said, they're not used to being here.
Right.
These are witnesses. They're not used to answering questions from attorneys, talking to attorneys. So it's a very intimidating process.
Well, then I guess that's how maybe the jury can relate to these witnesses. They, too, didn't ask to be put in this position, right? Mm-hmm. They're on the jury just like they're being called as witnesses. So maybe they feel a little bit sympathetic toward a nervous witness.
Absolutely sympathetic, especially today with Ms. Serdyka.
Right.
I think when they saw she's going through a lot. That was a lot that she went through, listening to that gut-wrenching 911 tape. I can imagine the juror saying, oh my God, this is so sad that this incident caused not only a tragedy in Trayvon Martin's parents' life and Trayvon Martin's entire family's life and George Zimmerman's family's life as well, but also these neighbors who were just minding their own business. She was sitting at home reading a book, playing with her cat, and then a couple seconds later is on, talking to a 911 operator, crying and kind of going crazy because she just witnessed this tragedy.
All right, thanks so much, Alicia. We are